He somehow improved on his efficiency from last season, trying to become the first back-to-back Wooden Award winner since Ralph Sampson with Virginia. Only Big Ten player in the last 25 years to average 20 points on 60% shooting, and he's done it a couple of times. And this Purdue team is the only team that's been ranked in the top 5 all season because there's been all kinds of upheaval and turmoil in the rankings. So you think Zach Edey's even better than he's been? How is he?
I think he's significantly better than he made a quantum leap from his sophomore to junior year last year when he was National Player of the Year. He's even better this year. He's more poised in the post. His mobility has improved, so he can now run out, set a ball screen, come back. Let's take a look at his mobility now. This was not what he was doing last year. Against Michigan, he's going to run out and set a ball screen for Braden Smith, and then he's going to roll back to the basket. But watch how the defense is going to react. Michigan here is going to be in drop coverage. They are not up to touch and guarding the ball. So the defense is just to the side of Braden Smith. So you got to stay with the ball a little more. That means that Zach Edey is going to be able to roll down to the rim. There's going to be a tag guy, but he's not going to bump him that hard. And he's got a perfect angle here. He should get the ball right over the top. He doesn't. But Michigan does a good job pushing him off the lane here. Last year, he would not have been able to score from this position. But he's going to try to look middle, looks for the defense to see is it coming, and then he takes a step middle and then a big drop step to get the angle and go to the basket, get fouled, and score. You would not have seen him do that last year. He's improved greatly. And what I think is really interesting, look, he's going to be the National Player of the Year again this year. The first time since Ralph Sampson did it in the 80s that someone's gone back-to-back. And because it's been kind of a no-brainer, we haven't really talked about him as much and his impact. He does so much to get his teammates open. He plays on both ends of the floor. He blocks shots. He's a big-time rebounder. He gets over 4 offensive rebounds a game. But he's the only player in the country that you have to change your entire game plan in order to deal with. Like Alabama's going to have to make a lot of adjustments for Dalton Connect tonight with Tennessee, but they don't have to change their whole game plan. You play against Zach Edey, you got to change the whole thing. Only player in the country that does that to you.
I don't know if it's a no-brainer. I mean, look, I think Zach Edey's probably going to win it, but I think Dalton Connect makes one hell of a case. And you can change the conversation to, you know, if you were drafting a player to start your basketball franchise right now in college, you know, who would you draft? And for me, guards win championships, and that's proven by the numbers, okay? Like 13 of the last 15 championships, the Final Four MVPs have been guards or wings. There's only been 2 times they've been bigs. So Zach Edey is a dominant presence. He deserves his flowers. Like I said, he probably will win National Player of the Year. But he's going to need Braden Smith, and he's going to need Fletcher Lawyer and these guys to play well from the outside. I look at Dalton Connect, and if people want to say, you know, if you want to talk about Vescovi, you want to talk about some of their other guards and the way they play, fine. But this dude's dropping 39 on Florida. He's dropping 39 the other night against Auburn in the big-time game. And to see him come up through the draft and be a potential first pick in the draft, it's like the perfect culmination of a great college player meeting with the potential of who he can be at the next level as well. That's how I feel.
And that's fair. He's more exciting. He's absolutely more exciting. So is R.J. Davis at North Carolina. So is Mark Sears here. They're more exciting. None of them are as impactful. None of them.
But what do you mean by impactful? Like defensively?
Okay, first of all, he averages more points than Dalton Connect does.
Okay, who's the better conference?
Dalton Connect doesn't rebound.
Okay, who's in a better conference?
Who beat him when they played head-to-head?
That's agreed, but they're allowed. But look, first off, in the better conference against guards and wings, I'm not saying he's going to be National Player of the Year.
You know you have a
No, it's good for JB and I. We're getting out.
He is the better college player. But he's the better college player.
If you were picking a player, any player, either of those two or someone else, to build your team around to try to win a national championship in college this year, where would you start?
In college?
In college.
On a team in college, it's really hard for me to pick a center because you need guards to get you the ball on the inside. However, where Zach Edey has the advantage also, in my opinion, is the way that defenses foul him. The way he puts pressure on defenses and gets other teams in foul trouble, that's a huge difference. His defense is a big difference, and I would think for college, I would go with Zach Edey because no one has an answer for him.
Edey has shot,
an answer for Edey.
To Andrea's point, Edey has shot 300 free throws. Dalton Connect 160.
He averages
and he shot a lot of free throws, but he gets fouled per 40 minutes. He's fouled 9 times a game. There's nobody that has that kind of impact in the college.
I just want to make sure we're having the right conversation. I said that Zach Edey will win National Player of the Year. If I were having a draft, I love the versatility of who Dalton Connect is, how he scores offensively, and I agree with you on the matchup with Zach Edey. I just think it's going to be interesting to see how those guards do and how Zach Edey does when the guards have to get him the ball in those positions on the floor when he gets to the tournament.
Point guards are the most important thing in terms of NCAA tournament, in terms of someone to get him the ball. But Zach Edey is different than anyone else in terms of defensive game plan. There are guys like Dalton Connect. You can go trap him, get the ball out of his hands, deny him the ball back. I mean, if you just want to take him out of the game, you can take him out of the game. He comes off a ball screen, boom, you trap him. Crosses half court, you run a second defender at him, he throws out, you deny him the ball back. You can't game plan for what Zach Edey does because there's no one else like him. Ball goes into the post. You can double him. He can throw out of it a 5-on-4. But keeping him off the offensive glass, he averages like 4 or 5 offensive rebounds a game. You can't game plan for a guy that just wedges, puts his arm up, catches it, and lays it in. So we've seen Dalton Connects. We have not seen anyone like Zach Edey in a very, very long time because the game has changed so much. We see stretch fives. We don't see low post guys that can dominate at 7-5.
Will it translate?
But they have. Well, they haven't had success in the tournament yet, and that is significant. Purdue with Zach Edey plays Michigan State later on tonight.